So we'll be brief today. I just wanted to go over any last minute questions you had about the playground next week. And remember that your playground binder is due for midterm. So check on the syllabus, have a look at that date for when that's due. Make sure that you've looked at the assignment guidelines and that you've got everything that's required in that midterm binder done. Because it's silly to throw points away on that binder because you send it in without some of the work that's required. All right. One of the things that will be required will be a journal. This is the one from last semester. I haven't written the one yet for this semester, but the journal entry is a way of trying to get you to think about concepts we've talked about in class while you're out on the playground. So it's very easy to go out there and just play and have a good time because the kids are a load of fun and we've got lots of good toys and that's great, and we want to model being active and having fun. But remember that everything we're doing out there is driven by theory and research. So you can't just go out and turn your brains off and play. While you're out there, the point of a lab is to try to make connections to the material and the ideas that we're talking about in class. Okay? Otherwise, there's no point in having a lab experience. That's the whole reason behind having lab. So the journal is a way of kind of pushing you into thinking about some things while you're out there. All right? And I'll have that up at the end of next week, so it's ready for week 2. It's not fair to ask you to do anything the first week out there because you need to kind of get a feel for the environment and get your first session under your hat, all right, so that you know what's going on. Week 2 then, you'll have this journal and there'll be something for you to be thinking about while you're out on the playground, and then there'll be some questions that you can answer and give your thoughts about and how are you using that material while you're on the playground. All right? So make sure that I'll post it probably, I'm out of town next weekend, so I expect I'll post it either Thursday afternoon or Friday morning on Blackboard. Make sure that you've read it before you come to the playground for your session that following week, because otherwise you won't know what you're looking for that's specific to the journal, and then when you go and try to write the journal, you won't have very clear pictures of things that happened on the playground that you can use as examples of how you were thinking about this material. Does that make sense? So when you read it, you can either bring a copy of it with you to the playground or make yourself a little note so that you can keep reminding yourself what it is you're looking for as you're playing with the children. Right? And then when you type the journal, what I would like, please, it's a Word document. So download it and type into, see where it says type here, type here. Don't give me another piece of paper with something else on it, because then then it takes me time to match it back to the specific thing that I asked you to do. All right? And I'm trying to make sure that I'm getting work back to people relatively promptly, and so that will help me do that. All right? So actually use this as a template, go in and start typing, it'll just move down, right? So this space is not indicative of how much you should be writing. I just wanted to keep the template on one page so it's easy for you to see what you've got to do. Is that questions on that? All right, needs to be typed. I don't want a handwritten document. Everything in your midterm binder should be typed, should be presented neatly. It's a professional piece of work. You've got to start thinking about presentation when you're handed assignments to your instructors, because when you're out in a job, doesn't matter which job you are, you're going to have to write things and present them, right? If you're the boss, you're going to have to write things to present to your people that work for you. If you're working for someone, chances are they're going to ask for a report, or they're going to ask for parent reports. So you need to start thinking about, how do I present this material so that it's easy for the person reading what I'm handing in to understand what I was trying to say. Right? It's always a goal when you hand something in that you make it as easy as possible for the person that's going to be reading it. Right? That's our job as the writer. So your binder should be easy for me to find. All the items that are meant to be in there should be nice and neat and tidy. Everything should be typed, so I'm not trying to read your handwriting. Okay, because that's not always easy. Right? Can't read my dad's handwriting for love nor money. He sends me a birthday card and I'm like, okay, I have no idea what that is. All right, so let's make sure that we're starting to think about presentation as well as content when we're doing these. This should be reasonably detailed when you do this journal, right? If it's a one-sentence answer, you probably haven't done enough work, right? Because one sentence either tells me you don't know what the concept I'm asking you to discuss is, or you didn't bother thinking about it while you were on the playground, so you don't have anything to say. All right? So this should be relatively detailed. Doesn't have to be 10 pages, but it shouldn't be one sentence. All right? Anybody got questions on what's expected next week, or what they should be doing with the binder? Everybody know what's meant to be in the binder? You all checked your guidelines? Any questions on any of that stuff that's got to be in the binder? The BMI data, I believe I loaded the BMI data. Let's check that. I have it, and I think I loaded it. Sometimes my memory is a little skewy. Blackboard getting slower as the semester goes on. Are you experiencing that? Because at the beginning of the semester it seems to be turning over quite quick, and it's just very slow. All right, where are we? Lab. Everybody done their lab exam? I'll be checking that this weekend. Remember, you need 70%. BMI. Yes, okay, the data's there. All right, so the data is up for you to do your BMI assignment. That's all the heights and weights for all the children at the CBC. That's good, I remember to do that. Bless you. All right. Question. Good. What day are you coming? Who's coming Monday? Who's coming Wednesday? Friday? Okay. All right, remember that you need to be out on the playground by 8:45. Okay, anything after 8:45 will be late. Late is a 2% deduction. Those add up. Right? If you do not show and I don't know why, that's a 10% deduction. And that will lead to you failing pretty quickly. All right, so pay attention to those things. Remember, you've got to have tennis shoes on. Okay, bring water with you. The weather forecast currently for next week is lovely. Lovely. We should have a really fun week next week. All right, so it doesn't mean the nights are starting to get a bit cooler. So if you're a chilly person like me, make sure that you've got a jacket or a fleece or something with you, because by 9 o'clock it might still be a little bit cool, but it's supposed to be sunny and bright and really pretty next week. So I think we're going to have loads of fun for our first week out, which will be nice because we've got a lot of new children that do not know me and don't know how the environment works. And so it's always easier when the weather cooperates to try to get those kids engaged and get them having fun. Okay. I think that's it. No one has questions for next week? Zach, I need to have a quick word with you. Then have a lovely weekend, and I'll see some of you Monday morning.